Ella Merman.
Good evening, Ms. Corcoran, Ms. Zucker, Ms. Brown, Ms. Goodwin, Ms. Ziegler, and Mr. Robinson. My name is Ella Merman. I am a junior at Booker High School and the founder of Sarasota Students for Climate, a youth-led organization fighting to improve local environmental policies. We are most known for initiating the climate strikes in Sarasota. Our mission today is to garner support for the next global climate strike, which will take place on April 24th. I'd like to begin by reminding everyone just how dire a crisis we are living in. While I can state countless instances of climate disasters on a global and domestic level, I want to focus on the impacts of climate change that are occurring in our own backyard. In Sarasota, we only have 20 years left until we run out of space to put our trash. Air pollution is becoming worse as we speak, and Sarasota's coasts are flooding on a regular basis, not to mention the increased frequency and severity of hurricanes and the record high temperatures we've experienced just in the last year. In August of 2018, Greta Thunberg said enough is enough, and in the past year, over 7 million youth have followed her from countries all around the world. In March of 2019, Sarasota Students for Climate brought the school strike movement to Sarasota County, and on September 20th, we were joined by over 700 participants and made the front page of the Sarasota and Bradenton Herald Tribune. While many people have been fighting for climate justice for years, the youth movement has been key to mobilizing climate action. For the next few minutes, I am asking that you put yourselves in our shoes, the youth, and consider the anxiety that plagues us when we think about our future. We all experience eco-anxiety in different ways. Personally, when I wake up in the morning, I wonder how many more days until I have to wear an air mask just to leave my house. I'm constantly taking in the beauty around me and hoping that my kids will be able to experience the same natural wonders of our world. A week ago, we released a petition to show support for our cause from those who cannot be here. As of right now, we have 235 signatures. For those who have not had a chance to read the demands of our petition, we are requesting the Sarasota County School Board to, 1, refrain from any disciplinary action against students who participate in legitimate climate strike activities during Earth Day week, April 20th to April 24th. 2, designate April 24th as a no-test day to reinforce a stance of supporting such action. 3, allow students to share information about the climate strikes in school as appropriate. And 4, meet respectively with students when requested during this week of action and beyond to address the climate crisis in Sarasota County.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. I'm sorry. I should have read your rules, I guess. The rules are no clapping. Please do not, you can do this, so I can't snap my fingers anymore, but that's what they do. It just disrupts the flow of the meeting, so please refrain from clapping. Quinn Gulliver.
Hello, I'm Quinn Gulliver, and I'm an 8th grade student here in Sarasota County, and I'm part of Sarasota Students for Climate. And as a student, I know a free day off from school is something a lot of us kind of really like. We dream about it sometimes. And also, I know that I would consider and possibly use the opportunity of signing up for this strike as a pretext just to get an off day at home. Now, as fun as this might sound to us, our event is not a get-out-of-school free card. To obtain the excused absence for this strike, a student would have to take a photograph of themselves at the event or write a paragraph stating what they learned at this rally. Also, as is policy of our school district, a parent or guardian would have to sign off on their student missing the school day. Now, to ensure that all participating students are actually going to the rally might seem like an impossible task, as the Sarasota County School District serves about 43,000 students. But cities much bigger than our own have implemented effective systems. Portland, Oregon, New York City, Arlington, Texas, and even our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., have set measures in place to give climate-concerned citizens excused absences to exercise their First Amendment rights. Please consider allowing all of us Sarasota County students the opportunity to do the same. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next is Alma. Or Alma? I'm sorry, I can't. I'm not sure.
Hello, my name is Alma Dasburg, and I'm a freshman at Booker High, and I'm part of Sarasota Students for Climate. I would like to stress the importance of this strike and the need for excused absences. The strike on April 24th is not only of global importance to students who are fighting for the future, it should also be valued within Sarasota and by our school board. The strike itself represents the strength of students across borders and the power that our generation holds. By recognizing this, you are acknowledging the morals that are embedded in education, an education that stands to teach students the force and relevance of their voices. The ideas of this movement in no way contravene academic ideas, which have always been the wellsprings of positive change. You may be asking, why is supporting this particular strike and allowing excused absences for those who wish to attend so important? Providing excused absences to students will not only convey the school board's belief in our future, it will also cultivate youth investment in the environment and the issues that will most impact our lives. On April 24th, when we join our peers across the globe to rally for attention to the urgency of climate issues, we will also embody our understanding of civic duty. This day offers a great opportunity to merge our education in science, civics, economics, and history, with a movement that calls for more active partnership with the government. This day will represent our hopes for our quickly diminishing planet, our cry for help from and solidarity with those in power. We are asking the school board to back up the students of Sarasota and show that you too believe in the future we are fighting for. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Devin Gulliver.
Good evening, board. Thank you for allowing me to speak. I'm Devin Gulliver. I'm an 8th grader here in Sarasota County Schools. When I was in 6th grade, Hurricane Irma struck Sarasota. It was a massive hurricane, and it grew as strong as it did with the help of climate change. School was out for a week because of the storm, but no extra makeup days were scheduled for school. This is because you, Sarasota County, you've made the school day and school year slightly longer to go above and beyond the school hours, the amount per year that are mandated by the state, so we weren't missing out on actual school hours. Hurricane Irma closed school for a week. We only ask for one day, and that is April 24th. And unlike Irma, this can be an educational opportunity. Our schools emphasize STEM, and many people say students need to know more about civics and government. Students can learn the science behind the changing climate and the civic process of petitioning the government and passing environmental policy. Thank you for considering what I have to say.
Thank you. Lee Merman.
Good evening, school board members. Thank you for staying up this evening. I'm a parent of 2 students in the Sarasota school system. Students today are asking for our support. They need to know that we as adults, administrators, teachers, and parents support them. Back as a student in 4th grade here in Sarasota County, we learned the word political efficacy. And for us as 4th graders, it meant volunteering, becoming more active in our community, supporting the ideas and things that were important to us. It's still a hard word to pronounce, but as a parent, there is nothing greater than the satisfaction we get at seeing our children find their voice. According to our Congressman, Vern Buchanan, he sent out a survey, and the number 2 issue of all the issues facing our country. Our community here in Sarasota believes that our community and our Congress should address climate change. Teachers each day prepare about a 45 to 50-minute lesson to keep students' attention while in class. Yet those teachers and instructors want that learning to continue well beyond their time in the classroom. While schools have four walls, for today's students, their classroom are their peers, social media, our community, parents, grandparents, role models, elected officials, and so on and so on. Some of our best ideas and solutions are coming from today's young minds. To show that Sarasota County Schools truly supports and advocates for the current well-being and the future success of our students, I ask you to approve excused absences and no testing for when students exit the fabricated classroom and step out into the real world. Thank you.
Thank you. And that concludes the hearing of citizens.
Can I speak to the kids before they have to go? Just thinking.
Sure.
I'm going to go out of order here. Normally, we don't comment on what is said here, but you're students, and I don't want to keep you up to the rest of our meeting. I see some of myself in you. I was active and involved. I don't remember what my issues were back then. But I do know that when you get involved, things change. Because I know when I was in my 20s and 30s, when I went outside on a day that had ozone warnings or the pollution was out, I ended up in the hospital because I couldn't breathe. The pollution was so bad out in LA and in areas in California, you couldn't see. So we can make changes. I appreciate you coming here. And I almost laughed. I may have laughed. Some of your ideas were very convincing. I think you really stepped out of your boundaries. You brought up some solutions, and I really appreciate them.
Excuse me? I'm not allowed to speak?
No. Sorry. We do it by the cards, and once the cards are read, then the workshop is...
She had a card. What was the name, huh?
Hearing of citizens is closed.
She had a card, she said.
Oh,
What was the name on the card?
Mariah White, who was with all the other students talking about SS4C and climate change.
Did you talk?
I did not.
Oh.
You not called my name.
Hold on.
Yeah, in that case, you can talk. You can raise your hand. And
No, I want to find out what I did. Margie White?
Mariah White.
Mariah White,
Yeah.
sorry. Come on up, please.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
No, I'm sorry. Seem to do one of these every meeting.
Okay. So I'm up here today like my peers because if I were to remain silent, I'd be guilty of complicity. Albert Einstein. My name is Mariah White. I'm a junior at Pineview in the ADE program, and I'm a member of the youth-led organization Sarasota Students for Climate. We are all here today to be part of a solution, not part of the problem. As Americans, we have a fundamental right, which our First Amendment grants, that is the right to protest. This is our freedom, and is ever more important concerning today's global narrative in the humanity's involvement in the climate crisis. We ask you to support the worldwide movement of youth standing up, as we are today in demanding the right to protest for our future. Previous generations have dismissed the climate crisis by ignoring solutions in the past. It has been overwhelming for my generation. Where do we even begin to address what is needed to take action and fundamentally change and address this climate crisis? A solution. We must change our course. In support of this change, with responsibility placed on students' civic duty, counties across the United States and Florida have allotted excused absences for the sake of protest for students. Counties that have already granted the right have been Portland, Oregon, New York City, and Martin County, Florida. Change is coming from our younger generation. The willingness to band together and transform how the climate crisis is perceived can allow youth to progress further in being leaders of global change. Youth involvement has become necessary to draw attention to the gravity of the climate crisis. We must continue to advocate. All of our futures depend on it.
Join us in the solution of civil protest as we, the youth, will continue the legacy and belief that this nation was founded on, the right of the people to peaceably to assemble. Be supporters towards a truly sustainable future that will be led by our collective voices. The action and next step towards the solution is partnering with students in your community. I ask if you believe in the importance of maintaining a future with our beautiful land, heritage, and intercoastal shores, and homes with our tropical peninsula. Allow students and support your students' decision to act on their rights. Allow them to seize control of the future for a greater course, not just for each individual, but for all of us. You before me and in this room, and those in Sarasota, we ask you to give a path to continue our right to education without penalty for protest by ensuring there are no testing dates on April 24th and allowing excused absence for shared civil duty as young American citizens while being allowed to have open dialogue on the event. Together in Sarasota County and the school system can join many student groups across Florida and continue making a positive difference and change. I quote cultural anthropologist author Margaret Mead by saying, "Never doubt a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens that can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. Be a part of your students' hope. Help us fight to protect our future with us." Thank you.
Thank you. And I apologize again.
You're good. Thank you.